Hello. Hello.
Well, if you needed a scale of how tired I am this evening, I've had my mic plugged into my PC for this whole time. Did my usual spiel at the beginning, and yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm glad I noticed before we started racing because we don't want any repeat of Tier One where I did half of qualifying and nobody could hear me.
Yeah. Well, I would have told you.
Oh dear. Oh yes. If it wasn't for little Manny man, I'd have never have known. Hello, Nisha in the chat. Nice to have you in the chat as always. Oh dear, what's going on here? I'm sharing this now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hello, little manny man. Hello, hello, hello. Gosh. Am I forgetting anything? I don't know anymore. Oh dear. Small grid this evening. That's not a shame. That's well. That's not a shame. I said that is a shame. It's just gonna knock us down to 7 here. Oh dear.
Okay, mango's in. Right.
Missing Krauser? What's going on with Krauser? Is he having issues?
Crow's internet is just fucked on
Oof.
for this game for some reason.
Yoinks. Oh, we might have a Tito, man.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to wait, get some more folks in. Hey, nice. Oh no, I just got a drive for a league.
Alright.
Yes, I'm gonna be driving again. Although I fear that I might be maybe not faster than all of them, but I don't know. We'll see. But although then again, it's the league's based in Canada, so I'm going to be running on Canadian time, which is no different to what I do normally. To be fair, because I have a lot of friends from Canada, and I game with those guys often. So yeah.
Alright. As soon as Tito selects car, right, let's get going. Oh dear.
Oh, and it's raining. Oh dear. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to APPF1 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and I'm joined, as always, by my amazing co-commentator, Ghost. How are you doing, mate?
I am tired.
Feelings mutual.
um, but yeah, some wet qualifying in Mexico with a championship on the line between three drivers. It's going to be spicy.
Yes, it certainly is, and it's round number 8, and we head to Central America for a race in Mexico. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is in Mexico City. Is a 4.304 kilometer circuit that has 17 corners, 10 to the right and 7 to the left. A long run to turn 1 will see drivers looking to make the most of the slipstream as they battle for position in the early stages of this race. A fast section of S's and a twisty sector 3 will make finding lap time a challenge as we go qualifying and throughout the race. Any thoughts on our venue tonight, Ghost?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. This very difficult track, especially those S's can cause all sorts of problems. But when you've got some corners which you have to get absolutely perfect in order to not lose several tenths for the tiniest of mistakes, and that horrible stadium section in Sector 3. This is a very tricky circuit, deceptively so, and I'm interested to see who's going to master it today in these wet conditions for quali, but hopefully it's dry for the race.
Hopefully, but the drivers will be finding this track that slightly more difficult with the slippery stuff out on the circuit and the green-walled intermediate tyres bolted onto the cars. And we'll have a look at the championship then, and we've got some news, Ghost. I believe Darth Hedges has been promoted up to Tier 1, if I'm correct.
Well, he made the decision. He decided he did not want to challenge for the Tier 2 title anymore, and has gone up to Tier 1 for the last 2 rounds. So, you know, it's an odd decision, especially with his home Grand Prix here in Mexico. Just before that, but you know, it's totally up to him. But yeah, I can't really get my head around it.
No, it is a shame that we're going to lose one of the championship contenders, but we still got a championship on the cards after a dramatic race at Monaco with both Darth and Lawrence crashing out in the early stages on the run out of the casino corner. LB has taken the lead of the championship on 119 points, and then his teammate, well, he's technically third, but second, I suppose, with Darth out of the championship now on 106 points. Robsu finds himself on 103, so he's in with a shout if he can get some good results today. And we then have Tier leading the way for best of the rest. And there's JBS Steve on 81 points. 6 points divide the two Brits as they battle in their respective teams, Mercedes and Williams. Then we have Bergen on 66 points. He's in a close fight with McLaren's Maniac Mango, who is on 63 points. I don't think Bergen's here tonight, so he's going to lose out on that particular battle. Krauser, connection issues keeping him. He's on 59 points, and Muhiti rounds off the top 10. Then there's J-Man, Wilmax, Little Manny Man, Tito Man, TTV Judith, Palang, Matthias Sox, Jackster, and Pommy Alex as far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned. Then we take a look at the constructor standings, and well, I think it's fair to say that this could be Red Bull's championship, as Lawrence sets a banker time at the beginning of the session to go to the top of the table. As well, there's only one horse left in the Ferrari race, with Robsu being the lone Ferrari now to battle the two Red Bulls as they take their Constructors' Championship even further. But 225 points for Red Bull, 216 points for Ferrari. Williams sat quite nicely in third place on 140 points, but Mercedes, if they have a good round or so, well, Tier would have to do incredibly well to catch up, actually. I don't think he mathematically can. So I think that's the Williams outfit safe, as LB now goes even quicker. Robsu goes P2, Sox in P4. But then we have McLaren, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Alpine and Haas for your standings. That is your championship
Ooh.
standings this evening.
JB splits the top two there. The 25-6. That's a very good effort from JB. Up to P2. Tia's coming across the line as well in the Mercedes. He likes the wet conditions and he puts it into 5th for now. But it's only a couple of tenths behind Lawrence. We've also got Maniac Mango on an out lap, but everyone else I think is going to be doing cooldown laps now because they won't have the ERS to go twice in a row.
No, they certainly won't. And well, yeah, it's going to be quite the quite an interesting session. I think whoever can master these conditions and get away well, but it's very close between the top three. Only well, about a tenth or so, maybe a bit less than that in some regards. 900ths of a second, I suppose, between JB and LB, who might I add is already has one tier 2 championship under his belt. So this will be his second go at it in the Red Bull. But of course, there's still plenty of racing to be had. There's 36 laps of racing to come here. There's still 12 minutes or so of this qualifying session, so anything can really happen as we watch Tier go around. Is he on a lap right now? I don't know. He might just about. No, he's not. He's harvesting. Yeah, on a cooldown.
Yeah. Yes. Maniac Mango, I think the only one on a lap right now. Although Lawrence has just started a second one, has he? Yeah, he's I think just started a second one, although no, he's backed off. What about LB? Is he on a second lap? He was on a cooldown.
I don't think so. Is he gaining battery? Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's the other interesting thing about this track is I don't know about you, Sumo. It looks like the sky is getting brighter. But the other interesting thing about this track. ERS, incredibly difficult to save around here. Once you use it, it is gone. And, well, that's true in qualifying, but it's going to be especially true in the race. You're going to see drivers use maybe half their ERS on the first lap and then not be able to gain any back for the rest of the race until they pit. As Maniac Mango goes to P4, that's good pace from him. Hopefully he can remain in the session and his internet doesn't fail him anymore, because that's some good pace from McLaren.
Yeah, it is. He's thrown his hat well and truly in the ring in his McLaren at the moment. Only 2 tenths behind LB's time at the moment with a 125.7. Who else is out on circuit? I think Tier's just set the fastest middle sector. He's coming through the stadium now. I think he's got Robsu ahead, who has invalidated. Who is the Red Bull ahead? Is it Lawrence? No, it's LB. What can LB do? Nothing. He's on a cooldown, so let's watch Tier as he makes his way around the final corner now. No ERS left to go. This could be an improvement. No, from the Brit. It is by 4 tenths, but it doesn't see him up a place, but it does see him get into this very, very close 2/10 battle between the top 6 drivers.
Certainly is, but you know, if the track does get drier in the next 10 minutes, then all of these laps are basically meaningless. So do keep an eye on it. I'm sure the sky is getting brighter and the rain is getting a bit less heavy, so we will see. And obviously track evolution as well is going to play its part. Lawrence, it looks like he's backed out of his lap. Is LB on a lap right now? I think he is. Yeah, his ERS is going down. So he is on an attempt, but he was half a tenth down in Sector 1. Let's see if he can improve in Sector 2 as he goes through the S's. Very close to the inside on that one. And just a little bit over the curb on that one, down towards the sector line. He is 6 tenths up. The track's definitely improving, Sumo.
Yeah, it certainly is, and there's always a lot of time to be found through those S's around this circuit, and even more so through this stadium section. It's such a slow, twisty part of the circuit with a final corner that can be very tricky on the traction, especially in this year's cars, and this will be the penultimate time that we use them as LB spun. He crashes across the line, sets the time, but is he out of the session? Is that car terminal? No.
He is still in it, so that is very, very lucky, but yeah, that's one way to set a qualifying lap for sure. As Lawrence continues on his attempt as well, he's going again. JB just crossing the line to start a lap as well as he knows ERS not going down, so I think maybe doing another banker. But Yes, the time's gonna start tumbling down, I think.
Yeah, we're sort of waiting to see what happens with the rain. If it does go away, who dares put on the slick tyre is the question. But LB has opened up that gap now. It's about 5/10 to JB. It's 25.1, but there'll be plenty of time coming down. Hello, Ash in the chat. Howdy, howdy. It's always nice to have some familiar faces, and well, 4 people watching, 4 people alike. That's the first. I don't have to. I don't have to say things that are mildly threatening, I suppose. But yes, you people who have liked, obviously you know who you are. So very much thank you. But yes, we watch on. We've got 7 minutes and 45 seconds left of this qualifying session. And well, there's a few familiar faces at the top as Lawrence has just pushed JB down. He is now occupying that front row, but it's only a few hundredths of a second, Ghost.
Yeah, those times are very, very close between 2nd and 5th. But LB a long way ahead, even with that spin across the line. So the clear favourite at the moment is the championship leader. Sirocco's back in, which is good, but Robsu is 3/10 up through Sector 1 alone. So LB is not the only one who's improving by a substantial margin. The Finnish driver looking to maybe win a surprise championship after missing the first race of the season. He should be right up there with LB in terms of points, but finds himself about 16, I think, behind. So we'll see if he can make some headway into that today before the finale next week as he goes through the S's. It looked decent, a little bit of a twitch on the exit of the last one, but 5/10 up. Here comes Robsu.
It was very committed through there. I thought he was going to lose the car for just a moment, but he's kept it for now, making his way through the final couple of corners. Yes, it is wet, Ash. Those inters are on the tyres. Your eyes are not playing tricks on you as Robsu comes around the final corner now. Can the Ferrari disrupt the order at the top? Oh, it's close. He's at 25.2. Still only 4. No, I mean, just over a tenth in it at the moment, but he gets in between the 2 Red Bulls right where he needs to be for this. Can a track like this be a chance for Robsu to do something magic? I don't know. JB, he's invalidated his time. Tears back out on the circuit as well. Let's follow along with the Mercedes driver coming through the first few corners. It's almost a triple chicane, focusing on exit on the first one, and it was very tentative, but you have to be in these conditions. And then it's DRS all the way down, a double DRS zone around this track. We'll find out how much that's impactful later on. As coming through turn 4 now goes Tier, and then this is a twisty section of circuit, and coming up is this double right-hander. You've got to try and hit both apexes, or perhaps just the second one as you go through, as you see Tier do there. Now we come into this S complex at the moment. It's a quick flick to the left in the dry, a bit more of a slow one through in these wet conditions, and then snaking his way through the S section, being very careful on the throttle not to give it too much, and this looks fairly clean. We're keeping an eye on Mango.
Oh, 3rd place. Decent lap from Mango, but here comes Tier as well.
He's gone faster in the middle sector, Ghost. He's only got this 3rd sector to navigate now, and this is very slow 2nd gear corner, and then you've really got to be careful on that one. That can really cost you some time if you get the traction wrong. Tier looked a little bit shaky coming through there, and that's the final corner, really shaky on the throttle there, but it's a 25.6, puts him up into P4.
P4 for Tier. He's looking a bit better, but so is everyone else.
JB
4.5 tenths up through Sector 2. What can he do through Sector 3? Can he challenge LB? Looking like he can. Oh, just a tenth off. JB with some really good pace today.
Yeah, it certainly did. Certainly is. I get very distracted by the chat at the moment, but wow, JB really getting himself up there in amongst it as well. The podium finish at Monaco, bringing the Williams driver to life here at Mexico, but can he keep it up in the race? I'm sure he can. It'll make for an interesting one. We've only got 9 drivers, but if we can have an interesting race, then I'll end the night a happy individual, and I'm sure you will as well, Ghost. Who else is out on circuit? Sox is out there in his Haas at the moment. He's trying to find some more time out there. He's got a couple seconds to find on the rest of the group, but yeah, it's a very, very close qualifying session. 6/10. Well, yeah, about 6/10 covering the top 6.
Yeah, it's about 5/10. It's very close between them. Obviously, in these wet conditions, exacerbating that a little bit, but I'm sure we'll hopefully get a close race. Sox 4.5 tenths up, 5 tenths up, in fact, through Sector 2. It's not enough to get him up any positions, but it could be enough to beat the likes of Sirocco and Tito if the two of them set laps. As LB coming through as well. Is he on a lap? No, he's coming to the end of his out lap. JB coming into the pits. I don't know if there's enough time for him. It's going to be close. Sox across the line. It's a big improvement by 8.5 tenths. And hopefully for him, that will cement his 7th place as Sirocco is invalidated. And Tito coming to the end of his lap right now, but he invalidates as well in Sector 3.
That is a shame. Very much an irregular driver here in Tier 2. Crows has joined. Oh, will he be able to select a car? He should be able to. I don't know. He'll have to really acclimatise and get himself out as soon as possible. He's only got.
He won't get a lap in.
I don't know. He might. Probably not. I mean, if he could get out and just drive on heat, he might be able to.
LB is a 10th up in Sector 1. He's looking very good, and remember, he lost a bunch of time in the final sector by spinning over the line. So this could be a big improvement for LB, cementing his pole position in this race. Robsu coming across the line to start his lap as well in the Ferrari. I think it's those top 3 are going to be the contenders, but Lawrence can very often come out of nowhere in these qualifying sessions.
Oh, he's invalidated. LB's invalidated.
Oh, okay, so he's not going to go faster. Well, he's got 1.5 minutes, so he will get another lap in, but he's only got 50% ERS, so it's going to be tricky for him to improve. So the pole position battle well on. Robsu coming to the end of Sector 1 in his Ferrari. What's it going to be? It's going to be basically identical to his previous effort in that sector, as Lawrence comes to start his final attempt as well in the other Red Bull. Tito coming to the end of his next attempt. He's cutting the corner to try and make it to the end, which is very illegal. But Robsu coming through Sector 2, and the S is now the Finn looking to improve. Can he challenge LB for pole? Here he goes.
Oh, that's it. No, he's invalidated that one. He's going to have to back off and go again. He'll have time. He's at Sector 3 right now, so he'll be able to get across the line. What's Tier up to? He's on an out lap at the moment, so we'll wait and see what he can do. Krauser is out on track. Oh, I don't know. I don't think he's going to make it.
No, I don't think so. He'd be very lucky to make it. I mean, where is he in the Williams? He's just behind Lawrence on track. No, he won't make it, I don't think. So unfortunate for him, but Lawrence now coming through the S's in his Red Bull, trying to gain a few positions. It's not where he wants to be, P6. And obviously difficult in the wet conditions with no line, but Lawrence coming to the end of Sector 1. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 3/10 improvement, which would send him up to 4th place, which I think he'd be satisfied with. And here he comes through the stadium section, keeping on JB as well. He's just started his lap.
Yeah, watch out for them. So we're watching Lawrence through the stadium sector now. Final couple of corners of the Red Bull. That looked a bit shaky, though, at the rear end of that car. Is it going to be enough for the front row? No, it's only 4th for Lawrence. So can anyone else improve on their times? Is JB... No, that's not JB. Where is he? Where's Krauser? No, the checker flag's out. So Krauser, his qualified session is over.
LB's invalidated.
Before it's really begun. LB's invalidated his lap. He's not going to go any faster then. Can anybody else find improvement?
So
Tier will be the next one. Tier's invalidated as well.
JB invalidated as well. Robsu coming through the S's, but he's got very little ERS and he's messed that up. He's had a spectacular slide there through the S's. I don't think he's going to be faster. He is. He's still a 10th up on his previous best. Maniac Mango was a 10.5 up in Sector 1 as well. What's it going to be in 2? He is 2 tenths up. Maniac Mango could get pole as well. Robsu coming to the final corner in the Ferrari. What a qualifying session this is. Round the final corner. Can he challenge for pole position? It would be massive if he could. Round the final corner. Yes! He does at 24.9. What about Maniac Mango around the final corner? Could he put in on a surprise pole? Down towards the line.
Oh!
No! 2nd place for Mango, front row, but he's displaced LB to 3rd, which is important for Robsu. Oh, what a quali.
That was a fantastic qualifying session. Really came alive in those final moments. The rain didn't stop, but these drivers, they didn't stop burning amazing lap times either. So close between them. What, 7/10 covering the top 6 drivers? One of the closest qualifyings I've ever witnessed.
Very, very close indeed. Even with 3 drivers not setting a lap. But tricky conditions. Great to see. Hopefully the race is just as good. As I'll let you run through the order.
Yes, there we go then. So Robsu put together a fantastic lap in treacherous conditions to take pole position here at Mexico, with Maniac Mango joining him on the front row. A great performance from the McLaren driver. Then LB, our championship leader, he's in P3 at the moment, lining up alongside JBS Steve, who makes up the second row. Then Lawrence is going to make up the top 5 with Tier P6. Sox and Krauser are 7 and 8 with Sirocco and Tito Man making up your top 10. This could be a great little race. We've only got 10 drivers on the grid, but, well, it's Tier 2, and we always have a great race here at Tier 2.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on Crozer as well, starting from P8. He is no stranger to having fantastic races from the back of the grid. Just look at Monaco. For your prime example of that, winning the race with a bold strategy call that worked perfectly, as it looks pretty dry for the race, thankfully. So hopefully it's going to be a good one. Of course, this double DRS zone makes it very easy to keep places once you've got them into turn 1, but we will see. Sometimes it gives you a bit too much overconfidence.
Yes, sometimes indeed. The Finnish fans out in force, it seems, out in the crowd. We've got the Finnish flag waving there, so Robsu has got some supporters going. Although it's strangely enough, there's no no one's actually waving those flags. They're just sat there flying in the wind. Yeah, there's nobody waving them.
Oh yeah,
and there's no pole or anything.
Yeah. They're just there. Oh, that's great.
Oh, Codemasters. Oh my god! And there I thought I'd seen everything. Clearly not. All right then, it's strategy time. And well, Robsu, he's opting to go long. He's starting on the hard compound tyres. Maniac Mango and LB, they're going to go for the medium compound of tyres, those yellow walled ones. Then JBS Steve opting to go for the hards as well. Then it's Lawrence, Tier, Sox, Krauser, Sirocco on medium. Sox and Sirocco have just been disqualified. Not the best start for Haas. And then Tito Man rounding off your hard runners. So 3 drivers opted for the hards. Ghost, what was the strategy over the last couple races?
It was hard medium is clearly better, was the general consensus. Although if there's an early safety car, the hard runners are absolutely gone. They are in big trouble. So we'll see. Obviously with so few drivers, chance of a safety car is minimized, although we do have Sox and Sirocco in the lobby, so who knows. But no, it's with a clean race, hard medium is clearly superior.
Yes, our dry race is actually unfortunately so, but it should make for some great overtaking. And well, we've got quite the battle here. Robsu, the challenger, the lone Ferrari, who is going to have to take it to both Red Bulls now in the constructors fight. I don't think he'll be able to outscore them unless Red Bull have an abysmal last 2 rounds. In order to win the constructors, but it's the drivers' champion that the Finn is after at the moment, and he's already ahead of his rival at the start of this race, but well, we're not really into it at the moment. We're on the formation lap, coming around the final corner. What's your thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, 16 points is the gap between Robsu and LB. He's going to need something catastrophic to happen to LB. If Robsu wins the race and LB comes, let's say, 8th, that's still only 11 points gained. So he would definitely take it down to a final showdown in Imola next week. But by no means would it be decisive. As everyone gets lined up on the grid, we're about ready to start.
Well, I'm going to pick a driver for the start because these awful camera angles at the moment. We've got 5 red lights. Riding aboard with JBS Steve. A little bit of lag. Mango's been lagged out already, but here we go. At the moment, he's completely gone from the session, but it looks like a great start from Robsu, who's already gone at the front at the moment. But Lawrence has got an incredible start, and he's already challenging his teammate down into turn 1. He's got around the outside. I think he's already ahead as well. Can he get the Ferrari? No, he's too far back. But Lawrence and LB, these two are fighting for a championship, though. It's going to be the two teammates together. They've come together.
Yeah, big contact there between the two Red Bulls. No love lost. They know they've got the constructors now, so it's all about the drivers. And there was contact with Tier as well further back. I think the two Hasses made contact. I'm not sure what's going on as Sox. Someone dives down the inside, one of the Hasses. I think that was Sirocco. I don't know if he made the corner or not, but Tito Man in the Alpine there. Sox gets a penalty for corner cutting. I'm not sure what's happening to him, but Robsu ahead. But Lawrence, look at this dry pace from the Red Bull. He is flying out there.
He's all over the back of that Ferrari already and looking insanely quick. He said it was up to him to save Tier 2 in the Discord chat, and he's certainly doing that at the moment. He is taking it to LB. This could be a fight between the two Red Bulls. Could we see a Spain 2016 situation between these two, I wonder?
Well, you could well do. LB's got all to lose. He's got a 13-point lead over Lawrence. So all he needs to do is just cruise to a third-place finish. But what a start that was from Lawrence. And also, what a start from Crozo. We said keep an eye on him. He's already up to 4th. What an amazing start from him. So it's all to play for. JB just about in DRS range. I don't know how long that's going to last as Tier and Sirocco side by side into turn 1. Can Sirocco make a move? He goes down the inside. There's space left by both. Ooh. There's a bit of lag there as Tier's sent wide. But I think it was Sirocco got a bit of a snap. And Tito Man gets through as well as a result.
Yeah, a little bit of lag there playing into it. I think it did look a little bit of a sharp move, but Lawrence still all over the back of Robsu, who, well, he's got to try and get ahead of him soon, I think. But I think the advantage on the medium tyres is not going to be too long. I'm not sure what the tyre wear situation is around this circuit, but, well, the hards don't look like they're coming alive.
They don't at the moment, but yeah, they will be tricky to handle at this first stint, but in the second stint the mediums are going to be so much better. So Robsu's just got to hold this out and just keep Lawrence behind as long as he can, but I think as long as he can is not going to be very long, because Lawrence right here sets the fastest lap. He's right behind him with the slipstream. DRS will be enabled for the next lap around, and I don't think Lawrence is going to make a move into turn 1 yet. He looks to the inside, but never really intended to go for it. And Robsu, I think, is living on borrowed time here.
Yeah, he's having a look, trying to scare Robsu perhaps off the track into having a little lock-up into turn 1, or making just a little mistake at the moment. But Lawrence has got to think about his teammate behind him as well. I think as much as these two like to work together, I think now that they're fighting for a Drivers' Championship, I think the pair of them might just get a bit scrappy with one another at this stage. And, well, it's what we want to see, really. And look who's getting involved now, too. Krauser making this a 4-car train for the fight for the lead of this race at the moment. Who's that round? I think that's Sox.
Yeah, it was Sox. He went for a frankly ridiculous dive bomb on Tito into that corner. It was never going to work in a million years. And, indeed, he was sent round. Luckily, Tito got away with it. But Tier and Sirocco having a good old battle. It's a bit of contact between them again at turn 2 earlier on, but Tier just about ahead for now. But I think Sirocco, he's going to have the DRS on this lap. And talking of DRS, Lawrence right behind Robsu again, but LB's there as well as Crozer, who's sticking with them. JB's fallen off though.
Yeah, he has, and, well, JB on those hard tyres, he may reel him back in towards the latter edges of this stint, but here comes Lawrence down the inside of Robsu. That's an easy move for the Red Bull. Goes deep into the first corner. Robsu tries to cut back around him on the outside, but doesn't get it. Double DRS coming into effect now as the DRS goes to Lawrence, and, well, Robsu could be in danger from LB here, but he's using some DRS, getting into the slipstream, keeping LB behind, but he finds himself sandwiched in between the two Red Bulls coming into Sector 2.
Yeah, he certainly is. And Robsu in big trouble now, and he's going to be under threat from LB and Crozer pretty shortly. But remember, that second stint is what Robsu's waiting for. Those medium tyres, he will breeze past these guys on the hards. He'll be so much faster in the second stint with the less fuel and with the track rubbered in. So it's far, far from over. But at the moment he's going to be struggling as LB nearly goes into the back of him with that braking performance at that right turn.
Yeah, and I think just outside of DRS perhaps, Robsu, maybe he got himself back in. We'll see as he comes down. Is the little green bar going to start forming up on the MFD there as they come down towards the line? It is. He did just get it, so this will keep him safe from LB for now. But he's got to try and stay within that second at the moment. The DRS very, very effective around this track. And, well, the two leaders having to use a lot of their ERS at the moment. It's going to come down to ERS management a lot around here, as well as we said during qualifying. It's very, very difficult to get the ERS back once you've lost it.
Yeah, certainly is. So Lawrence and Robsu both down below 40% now. LB still on 56. Crozer on about 50. He's just about staying in DRS range, but it's going to be tricky for him to stick with them unless they start battling now, because I think the performance is in the corners for Crozer at the moment. But LB right with this Ferrari as Lawrence still leads the race, but Robsu's still getting DRS from the race leader. And like we said, I don't think the Red Bulls are going to be helping each other anymore.
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's may the best man win all the way to the last race, which will be in about a week. Well, in a week's time. I say in about a week's time, but it is a week's time. Anyway, LB chasing down Robsu, who's once again got the DRS. The activation point is just before the penultimate corner. Well, the detection point at least. But did he get DRS? He did get DRS as they go down. The line's a lot further down than I remember. But along they go. At the moment, Krauser's still staying in with the DRS as well. So he's not at a threat range, but he's staying with them.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's making himself a bit of a nuisance here, getting involved in a battle for the driver's title that he's not really in. But he's got absolutely every right to do so. He wants another podium in that Williams. He's had some fantastic form in the second half of the season. But Lawrence still just about not out of that DRS range yet of Robsu, but he's so strong in that final sector, is the Red Bull driver. And if he can shake off Robsu, then LB will breeze past into turn one.
Yes, he will at the moment, but yeah, if Robsu's just got to try and find a bit in there, but those mid-hards just don't really have much to give at the moment in these early stages. But we're waiting for that stop, waiting for that strategy to switch over for him. No signs of a safety car at the moment, but this could be another overtake here. LB going to start sizing up Robsu, and Krauser might get involved as well. He's closed in. Does he have the straight line speed to catch up? Let's see. ARS activated. DRS now open for LB, and he's going to breeze past this Ferrari now. This is going to be an easy job, but Robsu's going to use his ERS and defend it, push LB all the way as close to the inside as possible. Side by side they go now into the first corner, and well, that was tight, but it was clean, and LB really got to know the very, very limits of being squeezed off the track.
Very nicely done from Robsu, but it's not over yet. LB using the ERS. He's going to dive down the inside into the next corner, and he's made the corner. Robsu tries to cut back on him, but he's going to find himself out of road on the outside of that corner, and LB finally through. But Robsu now has just got to stay with him, but he's again got Crozer right behind him now as well, so he can't rest yet. He's still got a car behind him, but I think as soon as Crozer gets past, then he'll be safe as JB's out. JB retires into
safety
the wall,
car.
and that's a safety car. Disaster for Robsu in particular, as well as Tito Man, who started on the hards as well. They've both got to hope for another safety car, but everyone else can pit for the hards, go all the way to the end, and they'll be absolutely fine. So Robsu has got to really get his foot down now on this medium stint that he's about to go on to, unless he stays out, as Lawrence has a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. absolute calamity for him as Robsu is promoted to second. He doesn't pit, he stays out. LB stays out as well, which is a very odd decision. Crozer now into the podium positions. He's replaced his front wing by the looks of it, so Crozer absolutely not out of this. Tito Man stays out as well on his hards. Crozer onto the hards, Lawrence onto another set of mediums, so he's going to go for another stop as well. So all to play for here, but I think LB is in the worst position out of anyone here.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's he should have stopped, I think. Will hards make it to the end?
Yes, yeah, they'll make it to the end from here. It's they'll be a little bit difficult at the end, but they won't be nothing that the drivers can't handle at all. Certainly won't be in puncture territory. Sock's also staying out on his mediums, so keep an eye on that Haas. But you never know. Even though there's only 8 drivers left, there can still definitely be another safety car.
Yes, that is for sure. And while Tito having to stay out, he started on hard tyres as well. And well, we'll keep an eye on it. This dynamic between Robsu and LB, that could change. I think Red Bull wanted to avoid the double stack. That's why LB stayed out. But I don't know. I feel like he's going to lose more not double stacking than he is staying out and leading the race.
Yeah, definitely. 100% right. And, well, I think this decision could come back to bite him. Obviously, if there is another safety car within the pitting range of those mediums, then he'll be fine. But that's a big if. And, yeah, well, everyone bunched up now. Tier on his hards as well. He's come in for another set. Yeah, it's going to be tricky, this one, as JB says that his enemy in terms of what caused his DNF was the curbs.
The curbs. Oh dear. Where did he crash? It was somewhere in Sector 2, I think.
The
Those
S's,
curbs,
yeah,
those curbs are lethal around this circuit. You get on them and it's more or less game over. It's like how Japan used to be on previous iterations of the game. And talking about previous iterations of the game, this is soon to become the previous iteration of the game as F1 2020, well, F1 23, I suppose, or F123 if you want to call it that, is just around the corner. We're just over a week away from the new game, and well, I'm a bit excited, Ghost, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been saying some promising things about it in terms of the handling model. I doubt it. I mean, it's still going to be buggy as hell, and it doesn't sound like they've put an anti-cheat in, so the esports players aren't happy. But in terms of the handling model, it's seemed pretty good from what I've seen, as Sox causing some issues under the safety car there with Lawrence, unfortunately, and I think someone's going to be getting a penalty for that probably. But we're about to get underway again. Safety car in this lap.
Here we go then. LB for the first time will get this race restarted. He's weaving and weaving and weaving. He's got up until the safety car pulls into the pit lane, which is roughly about now, to the line to get this race restarted. Does he go early? Does he go late? Does he go somewhere in the middle? Scott Marshall saying it's looking a lot more sturdy, very much like 2020. But there goes LB to get this race started once again in the Red Bull. Looks like a decent start. He's already trying to break the slipstream of the Ferrari of Robsu, who's already sort of trying to get himself into it at the moment. Look at the closing speed. Look at how much he's eaten out already. This could be a go. Well. Absolutely. And the Red Bull is under duress at the moment. The Robsu trying to go around the outside, almost has a little dive up the inside in the second part of the complex at the moment. Doesn't really get it done at the moment. Can he get into the slipstream to make a move in towards turn 4 at the moment? Lawrence has got himself past Tito Man in the meantime at the moment, but Robsu stays behind, but LB just about getting away with that.
Crozer's past Sirocco as well as Tier dives down the inside of the Haas. Very uncharacteristic dive from Tier there, but every right to do it, as he's well on the outside for that corner. He's not going to be able to make a move into there. Down towards the S's. Tier's got to be a bit careful here. Sox has gotten another time penalty for track limits. Sirocco very squirrely on the curb. Sox even more squirrely. He's round in the S's. Not DNF though, like JB did, but Lawrence now right behind Robsu as those medium tyres have gotten into shape for LB. And Lawrence now, he's going to try and make the most of the set that he's got, because obviously both him and Robsu will have to stop again for another set of mediums.
Yeah, and I remember Lawrence has got to serve this drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
And, well, Lawrence went for a set of mediums, so surely he's got to stop again.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. So, yeah, that's big shame for Lawrence. He's going to be hoping for another safety car, but he's got to take his drive-through in the next couple of laps. But I think he's going to try and at least annoy Robsu before that time comes. That's exactly what he's trying. He's using the ERS. He dives down the inside. Robsu leaves him the space. Very respectful from the Finn, as there's a bit of contact as they come around that very slow corner. Robsu's got the inside for the next corner, and Lawrence is going to have to settle behind him, but he's going to use ERS to try and make a dive into the S's, but he's a bit more sensible than that. And Robsu stays ahead for now as Lawrence gets on the curb, nearly bins it, just about keeps it on the track. Very, very close to disaster for Lawrence, but I think we'll see him serving his drive through this lap.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to have to come in and get that served, and, well, he'll drop all the way behind Sirocco there at the moment. I think Sox is a bit too far back to get him as well. But it's a shame. That's really going to turn his race upside down, and he'll really have to push during this stint. That's probably why he went for the mediums, perhaps. It must have been a very last-minute call when he did put them on at the moment. But through he goes to pit lane. Now the gap's sort of opening up a little bit. Robsu falling just outside of a second. DRS hasn't been activated yet. Lifeboat says that's the Drivers' Championship gone. Possibly, but anything could still happen. Lifeboat, we're only 12 laps in to a 36 lap race, so we've still got something on the cards perhaps. Remember, LB hasn't pitted yet. He's out on these 11 lap old medium tyres, didn't come in at the beginning. We think that's going to have cost him at the moment. Could we perhaps see the likes of Krauser or maybe Tier on the podium today?
I think Krauser's got an amazing chance to win this race, Sumo. He could make it back-to-back race victories in Tier 2, because he's out there on the hards. He can make it to the end on them. LB, Robsu and Tito all have to come in for a set of mediums before the end. Well, no, LB's got to come in for a set of hards, so I don't think he's got a chance at winning this race unless there's another safety car. But Krauser, if he can keep up the pace and keep that car pinned on the black stuff, he's got a great chance at winning the race. Although I think it will be tricky to keep Robsu behind, as Robsu will probably absolutely eat into that gap on his fresh mediums when he does come in.
Yeah, well, your provisional podium is looking like Krauser, Tier, Sirocco. That would be quite the podium for Tier 2, wouldn't it? But we'll wait and see. We're still not yet at the halfway point. Or are we? No, we're not. Not quite yet. Only a couple more laps to go. Scott Marshall in the chat. He says he quite enjoyed 22 eventually, though. It's a game that he learned how to drive on, and the wheel on wheel, so it feels normal to him. And he also says that no doubt Tier will bin it and cause a safety car. Yes, that is another possibility. But Krauser, he's on the back of Tito, man.
He certainly is. But yeah, no, I agree with Scott. We're in a very small minority, but I like this game. It's been really difficult to adapt to, and difficult for everyone to really get consistent at. But I don't know. I kind of like it. It feels like everyone's on a more even playing field when it's more difficult to drive, and I think next year the pace gaps will widen significantly.
Here we go.
But here comes Krauser now. ERS enabled, DRS on the back of that Williams, and that's an easy move for Krauser up to P3, and Tito down to P4, but he's still got a pit in that Alpine.
Yes, he does, and I don't know how much I have left in these tyres, and more the double DRS is going to just propel Krauser forward. And well, I think this double DRS zone, I think double DRS zones need to just go away.
Yeah.
You agree?
Absolutely. It's absolutely ridiculous. How can you have 3 corners where positions can change around and, you know, cars can have a battle, and then just completely negate that by having a double DRS zone with no chance of getting anything back? It's just, I just don't understand it. It's been there for so long as well. As long as this track's been here, it's been like that. I don't get it. I really don't. They could easily put a detection point between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, but they just don't.
Exit
or at least
3
on the
maybe.
exit 3, yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's just ridiculous. But Tier picks up a 3-second penalty, which will make his efforts at getting on the podium that little bit harder. But he does have a near 8-second gap to Sirocco, and he's catching up to Tito, man. He's within DRS now. He wasn't at the detection point, unfortunately for him. But Tier got a little bit of pace in that Mercedes, although no ERS left at all, as Lawrence now sets the fastest lap, proving his pace on those mediums, and I think he'll breeze past Sirocco fairly shortly.
Yeah, ERS that Tier will struggle to get back. Ash's double DRS in general is just silly. Scott Marshall says, don't go started on double DRS, and oh no, you've activated him. Well done, Sumo. Well, we've got to try and talk about something. Which is the worst double DRS zone? Would it be this one?
It's this one, without a doubt. Canada, it makes at least some degree of sense, but this one is just, there's no point. And as Lawrence goes for a dive down the inside there into turn 6, great, well executed from Lawrence, and he is now ahead. I don't think Sirocco will let it go if he can stay within DRS, but he's going to have a hard time doing that on those hard tyres. But yeah, no, this one, it's just, there's no conceivable reason why it should be there. A car can easily be out of the 1 second range at the detection point in sector 3, and then be within range if there was a detection point on the exit of turn 3, but they don't get rewarded with DRS. So yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it just ruins the prospect of a fight in towards turn 4 from someone who's just been overtaken. But Scott Marshall says at least they changed Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
So there's that. At least on the front of double DRS zones, Tito Man is still just on the back of Krauser here. He's not let him go, has he, in his Alpine at the moment. It's a little bit quiet at the front at the minute. Rob Sue and LB just quietly racing their own races at the moment. They're about a corner away from one another at the minute, or 4.2 seconds if you want to put that down into numbers at the moment. Tier is, well, he's keeping on the back of this. He's gained a little bit of ERS back, but not enough to really put up a fight.
This is really, really good stuff from the South African of Tito, man, to be honest. I thought Krauser would just be gone straight away within a lap and he would lose DRS, but Tito is kept within DRS for a couple of laps. I think he'll lose it here. He was very wide there, and yes, he does lose it over the detection point, but he's done really well to stay within DRS for that long, and I think it's kept Tier at bay for the time that he was there, but maybe Tier will start catching up now that Tito doesn't have that extra advantage. Yeah, like you say, the gaps at the front pretty spaced out now, but do keep an eye on that gap between Robsu and LB, because those mediums are going to start deteriorating now. It's about that time as Robsu does a power slide through turn 3, which won't have helped his hards.
Yeah, what lap do we say LB comes in at?
Well, the hards are ideally come in lap 21, 22 or so, if I remember rightly. So I think LB will probably extend to maybe 18 or so, 18, 19. So we should see him in the next couple of laps, especially when that time starts coming down to Robsub, which at the moment it isn't. But yeah, he's doing a good job out there, LB, on those worn tyres.
Right, so the pit stops are about to start getting underway for those who haven't stopped already. But again, I say your provisional lead. Well, I say you're on not provisional lead, but your lead at the moment would really be Krauser, who is on a great track for winning this at the moment. Another great strategy call from the man behind the Williams.
Yeah, and some great pace as well, Sumo. He was staying with those top three on merit at the start of the race before the safety car, so he's doing a fantastic job out there in that Williams, and he will 100% deserve it if he does make it back-to-back wins today. But obviously another safety car would put paid to his dreams, quite possibly, but he'd still be in with a shot. As Tia is now within that 1 second range of Tito, but he's got nothing left in terms of the battery, and he's going to find it very hard to gain any of that back. So, especially with Tito Man still yet to pit, I don't think there's any real point in Tia pushing like this with his ERS button to get within DRS range, but he does so anyway, and still could well be on for a podium. He's only 2.5 seconds behind Crozer on track, but obviously that 3-second time penalty is going to cost him big time, and well, that could easily have been another warning at the S's there.
Yeah, easily so. And let's catch up with the live chat. Ash says they get rewarded for whoever had DRS behind them, now getting DRS in front of them, which is bonkers. It really is.
LB in.
Fathom. LB is in now, though. He's finally gone it, so he's extended that one extra lap or so. So he's stayed out. Where's he going to come out? He's going to come out behind his teammate, I think. Yeah, he is behind Lawrence.
Lawrence, well, he's either going to try and take those mediums to the end like an absolute madman, or he's going to have to come in again. I think it's more likely to be the latter. He's still going to have flashbacks to Japan last season, where he got a puncture on the last lap and lost the race win. But yeah, he's out there on those mediums, and that drive-through has properly screwed up his race, unfortunately for him, as LB exits 5 seconds behind, and Tia is right behind Tito now through Sector 2, and surely this overtake will be done pretty shortly as Tito goes very deep at the first S, and Tia trying not to breach track limits again. He's already got a 3-second penalty. He does not want 6.
No, he does not. Scott Marshall says, can Tia actually do this? A podium. He was about to get out of the bath, but he's not going anywhere now. And Ash is 2 minutes behind on the stream. That is always a little bit embarrassing, but nevertheless. Oh, nearly losing it. There's Tia. Scott Marshall would be woo. Well, I don't know what Scott Marshall would be, but I think he'd be happy to see Tia still racing.
It's a great save, to be fair. He's lost about 1.5 seconds with it, but it is a good save. We've got yellow flags. That Sox round again. Sirocco was briefly in DRS range. He has gotten the DRS off LB, but I think LB is going to be comfortably gapping him through the next part of the track once the DRS is gone.
Oh, Tito
Man had a spin as well in the Alpine. He was driving really well. That's really unfortunate. And he's going to drop behind LB and crucially behind Sirocco. Nearly, but Sirocco's right there. Tito's just about there. Sirocco's got the DRS. He sends it down the inside. Tito leaves him plenty of room, and Sirocco is very happy to take it. And he's up into 6th place as Tito falls to 7th thanks to that mistake, and he's going to be annoyed with that one.
Yeah, very decent move there. As Sox is round again, he's round at Sector 3. Not causing too many problems for Robs, who are leader at the moment. Robsu's got to be due in soon, I'd have thought, as Sox is doing some donuts a bit prematurely. It's not quite the end of the race, Sox. But has Robsu come in, though? He's stayed out another lap, so we're carrying on. There's Krauser, leader at the moment. At least as far as pit stops have anything to say about it. Lawrence is closing in on Tia, though. But again, he does have to stop. But does he go to the end? I doubt it. We remember Japan. It was a absolute tragedy when that puncture came along. As he was overtaken by car after car. He was leading that race for so long, and then it just went poorly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the normal life of these mediums is around 17 laps. So, if I remember rightly, so doing 28, I mean, you'd have to be absolutely insane. It's not going to happen unless you're a madman and you're very lucky. But who knows, Lawrence could be both. He is chasing a championship after all, and finishing ahead of LB would be big for his chances. LB sitting down there in 5th position. As it stands, Robsu would gain 8 points on LB, which would bring the gap between them down to 8 points. But I think obviously Robsu's going to have to stop, and he comes in there, nearly skids into the wall as he enters the pits. Ooh. But into the pits comes Robsu. He's going to put on a set of medium tyres to the end of the race, and he's going to be very, very quick. So do keep an eye on him, but he's going to have to get back past LB, because LB has undercut him and set the fastest lap in the process. Robsu way down on LB. I mean, look at that. He's down even behind Tito, man. So Robsu's got some work to do here, as Crozer now leads this race on merit by 5 seconds.
Yeah, this is a great showing from Crozer, who's out in the front at the moment. And, well, if Tier can keep his main competitor is going to be LB, I suppose, who's going to be on those fresher tyres, but he can still get himself on the podium. I don't know how quickly Robsu will catch through, but he'll probably make short work of Tito and Sirocco, perhaps, and he'll be chasing after LB, and Lawrence will have to come in, who will fall behind the Ferrari, and, well, he'll be playing catch-up as well. I think the best he can hope for today is maybe P5, if he can get a move on after his stop.
Yeah, Robsu can absolutely still come second here. Lawrence has got to pit. Tier's got a 3-second time penalty. And LB is on hards. So Robsu in with a great shot of still coming second, as Tier nearly loses out the last corner, and Lawrence has to slow down big time to not hit him. That was good reactions from the Red Bull, and now ERS and DRS enabled, but it's lost him quite a bit of time as LB continues to catch, as does Robsu. Here comes the flying Finn in the Ferrari. 2 seconds between him and Tito, and then a further 5-6 seconds up the road to LB. Sox is out. Could that be a safety car?
No chance.
No, it doesn't look like it. So I think that's Crozer breathing a heavy sigh of relief there.
Yes, it is, and he carries on. Lawrence is gonna start chipping away at that gap, but remember, he's got to come in. Does he put on a set of softs? What are softs like under racing conditions?
They're very, very good. I think that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to send it until maybe lap 29 or so, and then come in for softs. That's probably his plan. If he came in for mediums, again, now would be a really good time to do that, I think. So I think what he's going to do, if he stays out here, he's going to go softs to the end.
He can't go on mediums.
Oh yeah, of course, because he's done medium, yeah, so he will be softs to the end, definitely. So that's what he's going to do. I think with Sox retiring and not causing a safety car, I think that's the last bastion of hope for a safety car out the window, as Robsu is already right in the back of Tito, man. So the Ferrari going to breeze past the Alpine and set the fastest lap in the process. That's an extra point which could be handy as well in this championship fight. And the gap is around 7 seconds to LB.
Yeah, Robsu really putting on the pace now. He's dispatched of one car. He's got Sirocco lined up next. He's got 2 seconds he's 2 seconds down the road from the Haas, and that's very quickly coming down. Meanwhile, Tier is teetering on the edge of DRS at the moment, with LB breathing down his neck.
Yeah, certainly is. Tier in a Red Bull sandwich at the moment, but he's going to go to the end on those hards. Lawrence, of course, going to have to pit for the softs at the end and lose a bunch of time. Someone's
Crozer!
No! Crozer's round in the S's from a 5-second lead. And Robsu gets a time penalty as well at the S's. It's all happened in just a few corners. And Crozer down to 4th place, and suddenly Lawrence is in with a great shot. Well, no, not Lawrence. Tier and LB suddenly from nowhere, after a poor strategy decision, is benefiting from others' mistakes and is in a great position to win the race.
Yeah, he is, and Sirocco is going to make a move on Krauser, perhaps. He's going to get himself DRS activated as well. Side by side they go. The Haas gets the move done. That's a fairly easy one. Can Robsu get involved now? Can he get in front of Krauser? That would be more calamity for the Williams driver if Robsu got ahead at the minute on those fresh medium tyres, and it's going to happen right now. Here it is, this double DRS zone causing havoc once again, giving Krauser nothing really left to fight with, but he shows Robsu the door at turn 4 and leaves him behind.
Again, due to the double DRS zone, Robsu did not have DRS there because he wasn't in range at the detection point in Sector 3. So he's going to have to wait for another opportunity, but now, of course, Krauser's got the DRS from Sirocco. So Robsu in a bit of a pickle here, and that 3-second time penalty is going to be critical, I think, in terms of the winner of this race. And LB in the driving seat, and, well, he's going to have a huge gap advantage in the driver's standings after this race, and only a DNF in Imola, as it stands, would realistically be the only way he would lose it.
Yeah, and well, LB has got a ton of VRS left to use, and he's all over the back of Tier, and well, he's already ahead of Tier. As I say that, as he breezes straight past the Mercedes and gets himself up into P2, and the lead of this race, Krauser's got back past Sirocco as that's happened as well. And there's a little bit of a scrap going on here for P4 at the moment with Krauser the advantage. He hasn't got a penalty to his name at the minute. Sirocco causing a little bit of a roadblock there at the moment, but Robsu's got himself through. Double DRS zone, giving the Williams and the Ferrari the DRS as they head down towards turn 4.
Yeah, LB finally passed here, and with that 3-second time penalty for Lawrence, and of course Lawrence is still yet to pit. LB, I mean, it would take a miracle for him to lose this race now. Robsu right behind Krauser. He's going to try and make this overtake, and then try his best to pull 3 seconds, but LB...
Lawrence is out!
Lawrence is out! Lawrence is out of the race!
Safety car!
He has binned it in the S's. We've got a virtual safety car, Sumo. No, it's upgraded. It's upgraded. Full safety car, and Robsu's back in it. Everyone is back in it. Krauser and LB in a huge advantageous position here. Neither of them with a penalty. Everyone's going to pit, but for what tyre?
Oh, softs, surely.
I don't know. Will they make it? That's the question.
Some may be forced softs. LB softs.
Yeah, softs. I think it will be softs then. Robsu...
Tier's gone to the mediums.
Here mediums. So was Robsu. Robsu's mediums as well. So they don't think the softs will last. Krauser's gone for softs. Sirocco has gone for softs as well. Tito Man has gone for mediums. So it's an even split. 3 mediums, 3 softs. And, well, we're going to have around about 8 laps of green flag racing after the safety car. And, I mean, we've already had Lawrence bin it in the S's. And crash out. We've had Krauser bin it in the S's from 5 seconds in front. Who else is going to bin it in the S's and have a huge impact on the outcome of this race and this championship?
I don't know, but this is one hell of a race at the moment. Everybody who is watching so far has liked the stream, and this has been quite the race. I told you, we may have 10 drivers, but it's tier 2. We always put on a phenomenal race around here. We have an exceptional group of drivers at the moment, and it's, well, always a great show here at the moment, but we're continuing to watch along. LB for the second time this evening is leading the drivers around under the safety car at the moment. We're probably going to go for one more lap under these conditions before we go racing again, but it is an even split, and well, if these softs do deteriorate quickly, the medium runners might be in for something. So Robsu could still win, although these penalties could play havoc. And Krauser or LB could easily find themselves promoted up onto the podium just through time penalties alone. And we'll have a look at those time penalties as they stand. It's 3 seconds for everybody with a time penalty at the moment. So that's Tier, Robsu, Tito Man, and Sirocco 95.
Yeah, all with 3 seconds, so a level playing field, but Krauser and LB with big advantages here, and they're both on the softs. Tia is going to be massively vulnerable very quickly to Crozer, and then Sirocco. I mean, he's a big wild card in all this. On the softs at the back, and he's shown not too bad pace today. I think he'll easily get past Tito, but Robsu could be thinking, oh, maybe I should have gone softs here, because those on softs are going to cause real problems for him.
Yeah, they are, and it's going to be a real mixed bag, I think, with the way it's set up at the moment, and we're still going around. But with Lawrence out, that's a dramatic shift in the championship heading into what will be the final round next week.
It certainly is. LB well and truly in the driving seat for this driver's title. Got a 16-point gap to Robsu. Lawrence is now out of the championship fight as long as LB finishes this race. And Robsu, yeah, 16 points is the gap. If it finishes like it is now, LB would extend that gap to... Robsu has fastest lap as well, so he'd extend that gap to 22 points. And, I mean, it would basically be done. So... this is championship on the line for LB here. He's just got to keep it together and not bin it like his teammate has. Safety car in this lap. We're going to get 8 laps of green flag racing.
Yes, sweet. Oh, here we go. Then LB is setting himself up, getting those tyres into the best operating window he can. He's got until the safety car peels into the line to get this race started. When does he go? Early, late, in the middle of the corner? We are yet to see as we go. But for the second time, he starts this race once again. Does he? Not yet, but he goes now. There he goes. He's gone. That's the Red Bull. He's caught Tier napping a little bit, but Tier's going to get himself right tucked up into the slipstream of this Red Bull. I don't think he'll be close enough as they go down towards turn 1, but it could be a great little sprint, and Kropsu is all over the back of Crozer at the moment. He's going to dive down to the inside. Side by side they go in towards turn 1. That's the Ferrari and the Williams. It's the inside now for Krauser, which then soon becomes the outside as they come out of turn 3. Off the track goes Krauser and through. Does he know? Krauser is... well, Krauser gets back for Robsu gave the placement. It's still side by side. Robsu gets ahead.
Brilliant battling between the two, and Sirocco into the back of Tito there as well at turn 4, and trying to make the move. Sirocco trying to make waves with these softs, and he goes down the inside again. They're going to be side by side leading to the S's. Tito's going to be just ahead, and Sirocco's going to have to live to fight another day, but Tito very wide, and Sirocco down the inside. He's gone off track to do it. That's not going to be looked upon favourably, probably even by the game. They'll probably give him a penalty for that one. But, yeah, Robsu unexpectedly ahead of Crozer, who was on the softs. And could there be damage to that Williams? There was contact between the two, and there is the justified penalty for Sirocco.
Yeah, that was very much an illegal overtake from the Haas. Should have given the position back while he had the chance, but the game has now seen fit to award him a penalty. So that's one less report for Jacko to go through later on this evening. But Tier, well, he's keeping up good pace here.
He certainly is. LB's struggling to shake him at the moment, even on those soft tyres, and those softs are going to start deteriorating towards the end. So this could be interesting here, although Tier has 6 seconds worth of track limits penalties. So that will drop him all the way down to 4th place as it stands. Robsu would jump up to 2nd. The championship still just about mathematically on, but I mean, if the gap is wide enough, then LB can just basically cruise to the finish in last place next week and win the title. So yeah, it's all to play for. Robsu is not going to let this go without a fight, and he's going to wait for those softs and, well, hope that those softs start to deteriorate in the last few laps.
Yeah, LB will be hoping that his internet holds out and that he manages to keep it consistent as well. Keep it in a straight line, well, or as straight as you can, going through the S's at least at the moment. But we're on lap 31 as LB sets the fastest lap of the race in 18.8 on those soft compound of tyres at the moment. Closest battle on track is Sirocco and Krauser.
That it is, and Sirocco trying to get the measure of Crozer. I think there's got to be damage to that Williams, surely, because he's not got any pace on those soft tyres at all. There was contact between the two. It looked like it was Crozer's rear to Robsu's front, but I was following Sirocco behind, so I didn't quite see it. Yeah, Crozer, a mystifying lack of pace here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is some damage. I would like to find out, and I think we may end up anyway with the 6 seconds that Tier has, depending on how much further they can draw out their gaps in these dying stages of the race. Somebody's lost it. There's a yellow flag.
He's out. And that's
Safety
another
car.
safety car right at the end, so everyone's going to come in for the softs. LB is saved, and, well, I mean, I think that's going to be that in terms of positioning. Robsu should finish second, but LB now, I mean, it would take a simply outrageous bottle job for him to... Well, Robsu stayed out, so as has LB. I mean, I don't know why he stayed out. That is I mean, obviously he's going to have, I suppose he's going to have those safety car laps where his softs aren't going to get as worn. But, well, Robsu now is going to be challenging him as best he can, trying to get as much advantage as he can. Tier and Tito, the only two to pit. That's very surprising to me. But Crozer's staying out as well. And, well, we're going to have 3 laps of racing at the end of this race, with everyone except Robsu on softs, and Tier and Tito on fresh softs, just to add a bit more complexity to the mix. But, wow, only 5 drivers, but it's going to be an interesting ending to this race.
Yes, it certainly is. Everyone but Robsu on the soft compound of tyres. Tier and Tito on fresh, but well, they're not really going to get much benefit out of them, as they've got penalties. So even if they do get ahead of Crozer, they're not going to be, well, they're not going to be keeping that place unless they can really get some pace under the green flag. But well, Crozer, I think he'll settle for second place.
Oh, he absolutely will. He'll be very happy with that. He's not challenging for the title. He just wants to get the best results he can. But Robsu going to be pretty gutted with falling to third place here. It would mean LB would gain another 6 points. Yeah. So it would bring the title gap up to 22, and it would basically be over as long as LB finishes next week. So yeah, I want to say it's all to play for, but it's not really.
Well, I'm just remembering back to something I said earlier about LB coming to save Tier 2.
Lawrence.
Well, Lawrence, I mean, yes, Lawrence. And well, he's just said in the Tier 2 chat, yes, I'm the biggest bottle job here. I don't know about that. I think that might go to Lifebout, but yes, not exactly what you meant there. And Maniac Mango as well. Apparently, he got disqualified after he rejoined for some strange reason. Probably because the game thought his car was still stopped on track, so it probably disqualified him for that.
Yeah, that'll be exactly it. It's all down. It's similar to the kind of bug that LB was victim of several times last season, where he would disconnect early on and then get disqualified at the end of the formation lap. Tier's lagging all over the place. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Safety car is in this lap, so we'll get 3 laps of racing as the 5 cars remaining. It's reminding me of a certain American GP from a few decades ago. But here we go. LB going to lead us off. Robsu is going to try everything he can, all the tricks in the book, to put some big pressure on LB, but it's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough, but if anyone can do it, it's this Ferrari of Robsu. And Right, this would be a chance for him to maybe get in some points in the Constructors, but it's still going to be an uphill battle. But LB's gone once again around the same place as before. He's not caught Robsu napping here, and Robsu, well, he's got some great straight line speed, and he's closing in on this Red Bull using the ERS to do so. LB defensive to the inside, really cuts off that option for Robsu as he goes along around the outside, then goes to Ferrari, and it's going to be the inside for the second part. Can he get ahead as they go? No, still side by side as they exit turn 3. Good racing, just about in the limits of side by side craft as they go there side by side, still going down to turn 4. Is it the Ferrari? Is it the Red Bull as they go in side by side? They go, and it's a bit of a scramble between the back places as well. Krauser keeps it going, and Wotu and LB still side by side as they go, and they're bumping wheels as they go.
Amazing racing between all 5 drivers there. It was 3 wide into turn 4, sorry. Tier gets another time penalty. He's up to 9 seconds, so he's a surefire for 5th place at the moment. But LB has finally shaken off Robsu, and I think that is the challenge of the Finn over as Tier goes down the inside of Krauser here into this right-hander leading into the stadium section. Tito's there as well if anything goes wrong, as the two of them side by side again. Tier is ahead, but those 9 seconds of penalty is going to cost him a bit of contact there. 2 laps to go, and Krauser at this rate is going to lose out those 3 seconds to Robsu, so it is important this. He's still going to finish on the podium, but Robsu's going to finish second.
There we go, this could be the second go at it. Here comes Robsu again, closing round the outside he goes. LB covers him off for the time being. He's going to look to the outside again, trying to find the way through the Ferrari, trying to cut under, get a better exit. He does, that's a great exit from the Ferrari. He's going to have a little go. It's going to be a drag race once again down towards turn 4. Robsu's going to look to go around the outside of the Red Bull. Can he get it done as he goes through? No, LB just covers him off, keeps showing him the outside line. Robsu, nowhere to go.
They've both got pretty even ERS as well, so they're both pushing here. It's going to go down to the final lap, but Robsu's time penalty is going to be very costly here. And as it stands, it would indeed drop him behind Krauser. But it is going to be close. It's 2 seconds at the moment, but obviously if he keeps fighting with LB, he is not going to get out of that range. DRS will be enabled on the final lap, but not for the main straight because of the stupid double bloody DRS zone.
Here comes Tito down the inside. He's challenging Krauser as well. He must have damage on that Williams because he's just really losing out to these guys around him at the minute. It's going to be the final lap though, and it's the final battle between these two. I think the penalties are going to decide it, but on track, I think Robsu will want the glory of at least finishing on the track ahead of LB. Here he comes once again, closing again. LB not covering off the inside this time. He knows he's got the job done with penalties at the minute. Keeps him around the outside and doesn't show Robsu any sort of way through. Gets another great exit, but LB just really, just getting in the Ferrari's way.
Yeah, there's nothing Robsu can do here. He has a little look to the inside, but he doesn't go for the dive bomb. Krauser and Tito side by side as well into turn 4 as they go wheel to wheel. Krauser just about ahead, but now Krauser's out of the 3-second range of Robsu. If he does have damage, it's even more weird why he didn't pit earlier on for the second safety car as he gets a snap on the exit, and Tito around the outside. Krauser leaves him plenty of room, but Krauser back down the inside in the S's. Great racing between these two. Robsu right behind LB as well at the front, still trying to put pressure on, but LB has all but won this championship as he heads into the stadium section. The fireworks start to go. Tito and Krauser swapping places again.
Here we go then for the final time. LB rounds the final couple of corners. He's our championship leader and he could well soon be a 2-time champion here in Tier 2 as he wins the Mexican Grand Prix for APPF1 Season 7, round number 8. As we go along, and well, we may have had a small grid, but it was surely a dramatic evening of racing.
Oh, it was great fun. Despite the small grid, it was great fun to watch. Krauser driver of the day, well, to be honest, Sumo, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with the game, and you won't hear me saying that too often.
But yeah, I believe LB got fastest lap as well, so that brings the gap between LB and Robsu up to, it will be 20 points with 1 race to go. and that is all but decided. But you know what isn't decided, Sumo? Contrary to expectation, because of Lawrence's DNF, the Constructors is not quite yet over. There's, well, there were 9 points in it before this race. LB's just gained 4, so now there will be 13 points in it. So if there's an absolute disaster for Red Bull next week, Robsu could still take the Constructors on his own. But I'll let you run through the order.
Yes, let's run through the order then. LB is your winner this evening. He did a great job in his Red Bull, started in P3 and got himself up onto the top step of the podium. He's flanked by Robsu and Krauser, who make up your podium here. Then Tito, Tier make up the finishers of this race. Then Sirocco, Lawrence, Sox, JBS Steve and Maniac Mango are the drivers who were caught out here at Mexico. And obviously Maniac being caught out by internet and the game. We'll head over to the interviews chat now, I think, and let's get some driver reactions. Hopefully my game doesn't crash in between parties. Krasvan, you did have a great battle, Tito. It was good to watch. Please don't crash. Okay, my game hasn't crashed. Amazing. Whew. There we go. No crashes in between. Yes, it was a lot of fun, Ash. You're most welcome. We're going to be here one final time at Imola next week, so hopefully that'll be just as good. A championship that's certainly been one to watch. I think we've had, I want to say, 3 different leaders of this championship.
Let me have a look. Darth, LB, and Lawrence led at the start. So yeah, 3.
Yeah. There we go. Wow. Just wait for the rest of our podium drivers. We've got 1. Just waiting for LB and Krauser to get themselves in. But thank you everyone who watched. 8 likes on the stream, and everyone, I'm sure you've had a great little race as we've gone ahead. My comments definitely didn't just jump up by 10. I don't know why it does that. That's really weird. But oh no, not by 10, by like double. Why does it do that? I don't know. But yes, thanks everyone who watched. If you've not subscribed, please do so already. It does help me out a lot, and especially liking the stream as well. And yeah, it's been a good little season. This, we've got one more round to go. Somewhat dampened by the loss of Darth, but I think it'll be I still think it'll be good for what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if there's not a title battle on the cards, I'm sure everyone will still be fighting tooth and nail for the race win and for the podium. So I'm sure it will still be a good race. Just waiting for LB, I think.
I'll be watching the race while doing the dishes. Thanks again, enjoyed it. No problem, Tito. Have fun doing those dishes. But I think we've got everybody in now. I think we're just waiting for who are we waiting for? We've got everyone. Okay, LB then. LB, the man who finished on the top step, championship leader, extends the lead even more. And well, your main competition, Lawrence, is well, out of the picture for the time being. But walk us through your race. How was that for you?
Yeah, I noticed straight away that Robsy had an amazing straight line speed on the car, and so I was thinking, okay, cool, but he'll have straight line, so I've got more downforce, so I'll be better on the exits. But then that wasn't the case. So that was then I was trying to figure out ways to then work around that because I saw that he could burn and just pull away. And then I had Lawrence as well, who decided not to sort of work with me, I think is fair to say. So I was sort of on my own. He was sort of trying to pull away from Robsu. Didn't try to do Perez like I did for him. And it was then just trying to work out where he's slow, where I could then attack. And I think I sort of got to the idea that I would be happy with third, so I'm just going to risk it and go for second. So I just dropped the battery, and that's when I first got past him. But the race as a whole was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, you say you were sort of figuring out a way to sort of beat Robsu, and you managed to keep him at bay on those final few laps when he was trying everything to get past. I mean, I know he had that time penalty, so it wasn't really going to be something that mattered, but you definitely kept him at bay, kept showing him the outside rather than the easier way through, especially through the first three corners. It was an impressive defensive drive.
Yeah, I think it was just trying to defend as much as possible because I understood that Krause as well looking at it didn't have 3 seconds, so it was just trying to us battling try and make him within the 3 seconds. But I think just with how fast he was and how fast he was pushing, I couldn't defend the way that I would have preferred to sort of slow him down to get into the 3 seconds of Ben. So it was really just a 1v1, and whoever came out on top came out on top.
Yeah, I mean, well, throughout the season you've been saying that it's the Constructors' Championship that it's for you, and you've now found yourself thrust into the lead of the drivers after Monaco. And well, what's the advantage now, Ghost? What's the gap?
20 points.
20 points. So you're going to have an abysmal time at Imola to really lose it, but you're probably going to end up coming home with a Constructors and a Drivers' Championship. Are you nervous for the final round at all, or have you got this in the bag?
No, not nervous really. I will say as well, whenever I was saying I was just focusing on the constructors, that was bollocks. I was trying to make it that people weren't worried, but I was always just trying to keep myself there. I knew on pace I wasn't able to be Darth or Lawrence, so I was just making sure I was there each time when the mistakes were there and I could counter. But yeah, comfortable going into it. I've done it before, so hopefully we can do it again. It's just a matter of finishing the race within good points to solidify that, and that'll be hopefully that'll be an easy job. So I think next race will just be I think a championship sounds better than a race win, as Lewis Hamilton once said. So I'm going to take that and keep on repeating that to myself throughout the race in Imola.
Yeah, well, you will be the first driver to be crowned a double Tier 2 champion, so that must feel exceptionally good as well. But hopefully,
just get it right, boys. Come on.
Oh dear. Well, double world champion then, if you want to be called that. But well, hopefully your internet at least holds out for that one. But I won't go and curse anything any further.
Yeah, let's not talk about
that. But well, it was a good show out there today, LB, and well, I'm sure you'll be out there putting on a show for us again same time next week.
I'll do my best. Thank you very much for the comments, guys.
No problem. I'll hand over to Ghost, who's with Robsu.
Yeah, so Robsu, I mean, a race hampered by safety cars when you were definitely on the better strategy after the first safety car, but in terms of your battle with LB and Lawrence, but in the end it didn't quite go your way, and obviously the 3-second time penalty made it exceptionally more difficult for you. So just talk us through your race.
Well, yeah. Well, this track is one of the worst for me. I have no confidence at all. I don't know what's up with it, but it's just the whole track just doesn't suit me at all. The sector 2, I lose so much time all the time there, and this was basically just trying not to get any penalty, but then that 3-6 came there, but in the end it didn't matter that much. So I don't know. It was eventful race, a fun one, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to talk to you mainly about your battle with LB at the end. I mean, obviously the straight line speed was monumental for you, but I mean, we all thought that on the softs LB would be gone, but you really kept him honest, and you were properly with him and side by side for a huge amount of time. So just talk us through that. What was going through your head there? Were you thinking that you just wanted to put pressure on him and try and maybe force him into getting getting a track limits penalty, or were you trying to just get in his head a bit?
Well, exactly. I thought that if I could pressure him, he might get a penalty or something worse. But it didn't work out. So, but yeah, it was just like you said. It was trying to put as much pressure as possible. But no can do.
Yeah, well, you certainly gave us a good show here in the commentary box. It doesn't matter the turnout in Tier 2, it's always a good race. So we thank you for that. And good luck next week for the championship. You're going to need something catastrophic to happen to take it from LB, but you never know. This is Tier 2 after all. So, keep the fight going and you'll still be there next week.
Will do.
Well done today, Robsu, and I'll hand over to Sumo for Crozer.
Well, Krauser, it's almost a race of what could have been. You were running pretty well at the start, got yourself up into P4, fighting with the top guys, and then safety cars came out, and you found yourself in the lead once again by merit, and then it all came crumbling down as quickly as it came about after that spin. Just run us through your race and what happened.
The spin didn't help, did it? It was a case of I could see them kind of catching me from the delta on the left, and I don't know, it got to me a little bit because I haven't had any practice on this track really. I would normally practice in the run up to kind of the actual race the hour before, and I just had so many problems today with internet, PlayStation, everything. So I had no practice. So getting there, I just probably shouldn't have pushed. Probably should have just settled in and thought I'll take wherever I can get. If I can keep it on the track with the hards, then I'll be in a good position come the end of the race. But I guess looking back at this season, the race kind of is similar to that. I've been quicker this season, but then there's been points where I don't know, rash decisions or just silly decisions really have cost me. So what was that, our 8th race, and I think I've only finished 4 of them. Whether it be for just DNFs which are my fault, like in Spain, or whether it was connection issues where I couldn't even join, like in Brazil the other week. So I think 4 races finished, that'll be 3 podiums. If I can take a bit of momentum going into the next game and then calm down and be consistent, more like last season, in the next season, I don't think I can have too many complaints.
Yeah, I think yourself and JB looks like a strong pair, and you've definitely cemented yourself as the best of the rest amongst there. And I think there's a lot of drivers who've been able to sort of not make it and such. So you're not the only one, but yeah, it's sort of a story of what could have been really throughout the whole season. But you're certainly driving on top form at the moment, and it's just. Well, you're still on the podium though, so you still really can't scoff at that. But are you looking? I think you're looking really ahead towards the next game to next season. Is that where your focus is going to lie? But going to try and carry that momentum in.
Yeah, I think there's not really anything to play for now. For myself, I think us as a pair in Williams, I think we've cemented 3rd place, and we can't. I can't remember the gap, but we're well off a second as far as I can remember. It is a case of, like I said, best of the rest. But with next season, I think the new game, the way the handling and everything looks, maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll play into our favour. Maybe we might be slower. Who knows? It might slow down the quick guys. They might end up being the pace of Tier 1 guys. So we just have to see when the next game comes. I'll definitely be around racing again, but whether it's at the front, whether it's at the back, hopefully I can keep the momentum of these last couple of races and go into the next season with that.
I'm sure you will get plenty of practice once the new game comes out. Tito says hi, and he asks, he wants to know about a little battle. You did have a nice little battle with him toward the end, and actually we were wondering if you had any damage throughout the rest of that race. So do you want to comment on those 2 things?
I didn't have damage. There was a I don't know if you guys picked it up on stream, but Tyr was a bit laggy at points. So I think I rear-ended him just after the safety car, and I think it was. I don't think it changed to the whatever is it olive green you guys call it. But there was a whack. But then my tyres I think were at 30+% on that last couple of laps after that final safety car. But yeah, we had a good little battle in the last lap or two, whatever it was. He was obviously on a lot fresher softs than mine. I couldn't really do anything under braking against him or Tyr. It was just I was a little bit gutted. I said to JB on our chat that if maybe I should have just let him past and kind of stuck with him, because I might have stuck with him Rob Sue's 3 seconds there rather than becoming adrift. But you know, 3rd place on the podium, a nice little battle. It wasn't a boring race from my perspective. I think it was nice with the little battles here, there, and everything throughout, and obviously the tactical side of it, knowing when to pit, and it was quite enjoyable. And the little battles at the end, they just add to that, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and you're probably glad it wasn't a wet race after all of that. But well, another podium for yourself, Krauser. Well done. It was a good job to get yourself up there. Best of luck going into the final round, and then of course, you know, hopefully that momentum does carry over into the next game. I'm sure it will. I have no doubts.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheers, guys. Thanks again.
No problem. It's our pleasure, and well, also that's Krauser and our driver of the day as well for second week running. But you know, small grid Ghost, we always deliver at tier 2 though, don't we?
Absolutely. Doesn't matter how small the grid is, we always have an enjoyable race. Obviously it would be nicer with a full grid, but yeah, that's, I think, something to think about for the next game, hopefully. But regardless, very, very enjoyable time, and hopefully, well, we have a good one next week to end off F1 22 as well. It'll be the last race in APPF1 on this game.
Yeah, with how we fall with our calendar season starting on a Friday and sort of moving throughout to the Tuesday. But yes, we will be the final. We will be the final race around. No problem, Tito. Goodbye, Ash. Half the grid, twice the excitement of a regular F1 race. Exactly what we were saying here. But yes, so next week we go for a final time around Imola at, well, a great little circuit in Italy, and well, hopefully you'll all join us there for the final race on F1 22 before we move to F1 23, as I'm going to be calling it from now on. But anyway, I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And we both wish you a very warm good night. Goodbye.